Welcome back to One-on-One Sports Webcast. I'm now joined at the desk by our hockey experts, Elizabeth Benjamin and Jenny Berman, to talk some NHL. The season is now a few weeks in, and it's clear that some teams and players have been big hits, while others' skates haven't really been that sharp. Let's talk about the team that surprised you the most in these first couple weeks. Let's start with you, Jenny.
All right, the team that has surprised me the most is the San Jose Sharks. I don't think anyone was expecting them to come out the gate as hot as they did. They've slipped a little bit recently in back-to-back losses to the Islanders and the Rangers, but Martin Jones has a 4-1-0 record with a .957 save percentage. Joe Pavelski and Joe Thornton have 5 points in 6 games, and they have some young talent really stepping up like Thomas Hertl and Nikolai Godolbin. So they've really impressed me so far this season.
That is definitely true. I'm saying the Montreal Canadiens, while they're not a huge surprise because they did win the Atlantic Division last year, they're playing better than ever. They're not relying as much on Carey Price like they did last year. More of the rest of the team is producing, definitely a lot more than last year. And they're outscoring their opponents 10-1 in the third period so far this year, which is something that's interesting. They've kept their same lines since the start of training camp, so the chemistry is also already there, which is definitely important. And although they didn't make a lot of big roster changes, they did switch Alex Galchenyuk from left wing to center, so that's his natural position. So that we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, while I do agree that the Montreal Canadiens might be the better team, I do think the Sharks are the bigger surprise coming into the season after they struggled a little bit last year. Now moving on, who's the biggest disappointment so far this season?
Definitely the Anaheim Ducks. They got their first win of the season on Sunday against Minnesota. They just traded for Anton Hudobin, and although he had the 4-1 win in Sunday's game, his goals against average is still 13.85 with that win. So he gave up 3 goals in less than 13 minutes against Arizona, and the team just isn't producing with all the big names they have. They really need to step it up, and they've definitely been a disappointment so far.
I'm going to have to go with the Columbus Blue Jackets, though. Every year we hear that this is their year. They're going to take the Metropolitan Division. They're going to be a real playoff contender. And yet every year they come out slow. Their coach, Todd Richards, has to be on the hot seat now. Sergei Bobrovsky, their former Vezina Trophy-winning goaltender, has a ridiculously low save percentage. He has no confidence in himself, told that to the media. Their best defender is Jack Johnson, who, while he's a good player, he's not really a stud defenseman in the NHL.
But is that really a surprise, though? I mean, they were good in 2014, but they have Brandon Saad now, and that should be more of a reason for them to step up. To me, they're not really a big surprise. They're kind of perennially
I'm with Elizabeth on this one. While the Blue Jackets, they haven't won a game yet, which is absolutely atrocious. That's not as big a disappointment as the Anaheim Ducks because, there is that expectation with all the talent that they have in Anaheim. Next up, who is the player to watch, after this first week? Jenny, start with you.
I'm going to have to go with Dylan Larkin from the Detroit Red Wings. He's got a point in every single game that he's played so far, so he's a very consistent scorer. He's only 19 years old, and the Detroit Red Wings are known for holding back their prospects, waiting for them to mature a lot. So it's going to have to be someone really impressive who makes a team at 19, and he's shown that he's ready for the NHL, that he's a big-time player. He's the second leading scorer on the team behind Henrik Zetterberg, and he's been really fun to watch as a player, not just because of the points, but just because of what he produces.
I'm going to say Max Domi of the Arizona Coyotes. He's 20 years old. He tore it up in juniors last year, winning the Captain's Trophy. He won the OHL championship, and he actually was better than Jack Eichel and Connor McDavid in World Juniors. So right out of the gate, he's come scoring. He has 6 points already in 6 games, and between him and other rookie Anthony Duclair, they have 7 of the team's 16 goals. So they're really an offensive powerhouse together, and I think he's definitely a name we're going to see.
Yeah, I got to side with Elizabeth on this one, just because, with Max Domi, in Detroit, Larkin's playing with Zetterberg. You're expecting him to do well. We'll see what happens if, they get split up. But Domi, all those young guys in Arizona, it's been very fun to watch so far, and definitely to keep watching him. So the last question we have here today, who's a player who needs to step up?
Well, he can't really step up anymore because he's injured now. So I'm saying James Wisniewski. He was just acquired by Carolina this season, and within 47 seconds, he got injured and tore his ACL. So he's out for 6 months, which is the entire regular season. So he can't step up anymore, but the Hurricanes are really expecting him to. So it's kind of out of the box, but I'm going to say
So when he comes
Wisniewski.
back, you're saying he needs to step up.
Well, from what he was expected to what actually happened, he can't
Okay.
step up anymore.
Okay, Jenny?
I mean, you can't really expect him to step up, though. 47 seconds in, his first shift. I
Yeah.
mean, he could have been a really big game changer for the Hurricanes. You just don't know. I'm going to have to go with Tuukka Rask from the Boston Bruins. They had some injuries on defense, and while that was expected to take a hit for the team, he really needs to be playing as the elite goaltender he is. He has a career .926 save percentage, and he's at sub 900 right now, which is terribly low for the NHL, and he just hasn't been giving them any favors. Blowout losses against teams that they should be beating. He really needs to step up for the Bruins.
You know, as much as I like the wild card pick, I got to go with Tuukka Rask. He looked terrible in those first couple games. He's kind of started to turn around, but we'll see what happens the rest of the year. It's been a first couple exciting weeks.
Fun
Yeah.
season.
But yeah, that's all the time we have to talk about the pros. But when we come back, we're going to talk about some college football. Stay tuned.